Yay Networks.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Laura.
And this is
Cheers to That Shit.
We have a super exciting announcement at the end of the episode, so make sure you stay tuned through the whole thing, like you should do anyway, because we talk about really
We have a great
important
topic
stuff
today, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we do. I am excited about it. Before we jump in, you did do something this weekend.
Yeah.
Normally, your life is so boring.
I know. I actually did something. Shocker. I went to Wilmington, had a beach day and a moving day with my son.
Nice.
And future daughter-in-law, I suppose, at some point.
Maybe at some point.
Moved into a new apartment, but it was great because I got to see one of the puppies because they have one. And we went out on a boat, and he has the cutest little doggy life vest, and it has a shark fin on the back of it. And it has like a handle so you can pick him up and hold him.
Like a little cooler?
Yes. And it's got the shark fin and everything. It's super cute. But he was just up on the bow of the boat while it's like going through the water.
He's just a beach dog.
He was a total beach dog. And he was running around.
What's his name again?
Bodie. He was running around in the water and splashing, and it was just a great day. It was fun. It was kind of cloudy. We got a little rain, but it was just nice to be out of town, and kind of chill.
Away.
Went out to dinner.
Where?
At the Oceanic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of our vendors.
Yeah.
And that was nice. Walked out
Dummy
on the pier.
in your dummy.
I know. It was good. It was good to have seafood. So, yeah, it was a fun weekend. Didn't want to come back, but here I am.
But here you are.
Yeah, here I am.
Yet reality slaps me in the face.
How about you?
I went to go see Barbie.
Yes.
So now I have completed the Barbieheimer.
Oh, the Barbieheimer.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they're like selling t-shirts. It's like an actual thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like Barbie blowing up.
Maybe. Oh, like because
Yeah, hence Barbieheimer.
No, I got that, but you're like I was thinking like a giant Barbie, but like no, I see what you're saying now.
Oh, you mean blowing up like getting big?
Yeah.
No, I meant like
Like a
bomb.
Yes, it is on that. It's like the Barbie in the front and then an explosion on the back.
Oh, that's
But
hilarious.
it's because they both open anyway.
Yeah.
The world knows already. They're like,
digress.
no, we get it. No, so yes, I saw Barbie
I'm going to try to see both of those movies this weekend because I have
on the same day.
No.
Oh, I was like, that's like 5 hour. That's a lot of sitting.
Because I haven't seen either of them yet.
Both very good. Barbie is so fucking good.
What made it so
good? Well, Ryan Gosling is hilarious in it. Like seriously, like everyone was rolling.
Yeah.
Everyone was cracking up. That was like one of the first movies in such a long time that everybody in the audience was laughing and like making It was so
That's good.
fucking good. It was so funny. But then there also is a really good, I feel like feminist, but not like burn the bras, but just like a very good, like I need the bra.
I was going to say that's never going to happen for me.
But just a really good message to women in general of like, we need to be supportive. We need to, come together.
I read that little like monologue thing or whatever.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like it was just a very good, powerful message to women that is just very much like, and it also has a nice dose of reality. So it's like, you have Barbie Land and it's kind of like the total opposite of what the real world is. And then they go into the real world and you're like, oh shit. Like, so it's just kind of opens up a lot of
funny from that perspective.
Yes. But it's
one of those things when you see the trailer, it's like, oh, it could go either way. It could be totally stupid.
It's so good.
Okay, good.
It's so good.
Yeah. I think I'm going with my nieces this weekend. So.
I was telling Ryan, I was like, I want to go back and see it again. And he was like, I'm probably
gonna pass.
Like, I'm probably not gonna do it. But like,
but you go.
And my oldest daughter keeps asking to go and see the real Barbie, and I'm like, no.
Was it kid appropriate?
No.
Like how small?
I would say like the oldest or the youngest that I personally think would be like 11 or 12.
Oh, what is that? Like 6th grade?
I don't know. 6th or 7th, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's PG-13, so it's not like they're not like there's no like sex or anything.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's just like I know someone that took their 5 and 3 year
old. It's adult humor and stuff that kids wouldn't get.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to try to
Anyway.
go see that. I'm going to try to go see Oppenheimer, maybe on 2 different days, but
Saturday and Sunday, movie marathon weekend.
yeah, maybe.
Or just knock it out in the same day. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Any Hoosers. Okay. Today we're going to talk about your wedding website and questions that you should have answered on your website. I feel like we have become obviously a very technology dependent world. And we've talked about before people sending out evites instead of actual invitations or like paper invitations. One, just because we are more of like a,
Digital world.
but also just sustainability wise.
You have to send paper invites to all the like 50 plus people invited.
Yeah.
And digital for everybody else.
But when you get those paper invites, there's zero information on them. And so like when you do send them out to those people who are like maybe 60s, 70s, who have no idea, what a wedding website is, because that wasn't a thing when they were getting married.
Have a computer.
Well, I'm sure they have a computer now, but
At least a cell phone.
Something. But like they may not even know how to navigate your wedding website. But the reason you have one is because you can't fit all that information on a paper invitation.
Yeah, I mean, because weddings are so experiential now. We talked a couple of weeks ago about making it a whole weekend event. So there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things going on, a lot of activities, times to be there, dress code, yada.
We're going to talk through all of that. The first thing and the most obvious thing, and some of these are a little bit like, duh, but you'd be surprised. So we're just going to run through them. Can you RSVP online or do I have to mail it in? You need to have one place where you're housing all of your RSVPs.
Right.
So if you do accept them for both online and in the mail, you as the person collecting them need to make sure that you're keeping track of whatever's going to be easiest. So what?
I was just going to say something that came to my mind, just thinking, if you can go into the little database or however it's keeping it on the computer, it'd be real easy when one came in to just go into the back end and
add it in.
Put them right in. Cause I'm assuming you'll be able to download some sort of spreadsheet or print labels or things like that.
Would assume so.
Yeah.
Also have on there what date you need the RSVP by. We've talked about that and it's so fucking rude when people don't RSVP by the deadline, because then the couple is having to chase after people like, hey, are you coming or not? We just need to know. So those are the two top questions that you should probably have answered immediately, probably both on the invitation and your wedding website.
Yeah.
You need those answered.
Yeah. Those conversations probably turn into the most long drawn out, like, well, we're so excited. We can't wait to get there. Hey, what's the weather going to be? It's going to be easy to park at the... No, don't have time.
And then
for
when
that.
you have those questions, you can be like, go to the website.
Right. It's all on the website.
Answering what is the easiest way to get to and from the wedding venue? If there's parking at the venue, and are you going to have transportation for your guests?
Right.
Have that on there as well. For my wedding, we did have a shuttle that went from both hotels back to the venue, and it circled a couple times before, but there was also a parking lot. Some people may not want to take the shuttle for whatever reason. Some people may need to know. So have obviously the address of the venue, have how to get there, whatever, blah, 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 and where to park. And if you can leave your car overnight.
Oh, yeah.
Because for my venue, the parking lot that they shared was with a church. So if you were getting married on a Saturday, you could not leave your car there overnight because of church on Sunday.
Yeah, I would imagine local people, that'd be great info for local people, and they may want to Uber or carpool, whatnot.
Well, if you're drinking, you'd hope that you'd either have a DD or you'd Uber anyway.
Yeah, because they may not need the shuttle going back to a hotel.
Yeah. We kind of ran through that a little quick. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to answer more questions.
And we're back.
Good job.
Oh, boy.
What a rarity.
I know. That's the first time ever.
All right, let's keep going. Will the wedding be indoors or outside?
Yeah.
That, I think, is a huge question. And also, I would note on the website as well what the backup plan is. Like, if it does rain, where will the ceremony be? And what is the plan for that? When will people know? What have you?
Yeah. definitely.
I think signage too, like noting on the website, like, hey, we're going to have signage. If you're getting married, like at a hotel or something, and you need like, just follow the signs or follow whatever, make it as easy for people as possible.
A lot of people, I've seen them include maps and things like that for directions, or maybe a little map that's like hotel, venue, and there's little like arrows that go there, just are included. So if you have a wedding website, which you should, which we didn't really talk about that in the beginning, but you definitely should have a wedding website. Putting those little graphics up there, I think are very helpful.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to talk about that for a second. I feel like when people don't have a wedding website, like at this point, I feel like there are some people that are just probably like, I don't need one. Like it is what it is. But there's so much, like obviously for the couple, yes, there's so much that goes into the wedding. But guests are taking an entire weekend out of their life, most likely, unless they're local, but it's still a whole day, like to come and celebrate you. They have to get a hotel. They are going to this venue. They're bringing a gift or cash or whatever they're doing. And if you have anything, like you need to have.
I like to have like an itinerary that's like, let me look this up real quick and just check in where we have to be at what time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the XYZ ballroom. I thought it was going to be in the lobby. It's
having that on there, because if you don't have all of the questions that you're like, people probably know that. You know who's going to call you? Aunt Sue. You know when she's going to call you? An hour before you're walking down the ceremony, because she's going to have all these questions. And of course, she's the most important person coming to your wedding.
It's looking cloudy outside. Are y'all thinking about moving that inside?
Nope, Sue. On the website, it says that we have to decide 3 days before, and we didn't. We're still outside. Bring your umbrella. Love you. Like, you know what I mean? Also speaking of weather, list on the website what the area is like, or what the weather is like in the area. If you're getting married in August, September, October, and you live in the South, hurricane season.
I was just going to say that.
Like, unpredictable.
Yeah.
Unpredictable. Be prepared for anything.
Could be 95 degrees, could be 65 degrees. You never know in October in North Carolina.
Could be storming, could be sunny.
So wear a sundress and bring a sweater.
Cover the bases, okay?
Hey, that's good to know, though. I mean, I usually do cover my bases when I pack. I try to,
but if it's already in one spot, like if you already list, hey, it's, typically this week, we met someone at Wedding MBA, and now I can't think of the name of the business, which sucks, but that was his whole thing. Like he predicts the weather, like to the minute.
Yeah, I can't. Oh gosh, what is the name of the company? I know his name, but I can't.
Yeah,
we'll have to post that up.
Yeah, we'll post that. But he find someone like that you can predict. And like he was telling us about how someone was getting married at the beach, and they predicted to the minute when the tide was going to come in and where they needed to be, and for all to work. I'm like, oh shit, I don't
Side note on Andrew, his company is startup, and they are a bunch of weather geeks and techno geeks who all got together, and they went back and looked at all of this historical data from years and years and years. And even though like in North Carolina, one day it could be summer and the next day it could be winter, the historical data just shows the consistency. And and they're able to kind of predict that. So I don't know, maybe a little digital farmer's almanac, if you will, but it's really cool. It's a really cool business. And he works with a lot of wedding planners to help their couples when they choose that. So we'll post his info, links and stuff.
Have you reserved room blocks and where? We've talked about this before, but most people get like one or two hotel options. They have like a little bit more expensive, one that's more affordable. Hotel options, they're typically within like, I would say 5 miles of each other, especially if they're going to have a shuttle, or probably closer if you're getting married in a downtown area. It's probably on the same block, but let people know. Usually you have to say like part of whatever, or use code whatever.
Yeah, they usually have some kind of code, or that you're part of the so-and-so wedding.
What is the dress code?
Good one.
I have been invited to so many weddings where they did not list out what the dress code was.
Right. I feel like people don't even pay attention to that, which is a whole nother problem.
Yes.
But that is one of my biggest pet peeves lately, is how people dress when they go to a wedding.
I mean, it blows my fucking mind. And if you don't have the dress code on your website or invitation, you're going to get everything. Right. You're going to get the dressy casual. You're going to get the casual. You're going to get the formal. You're going to have one person show up in a tux. You're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're going to get
jeans. Jeans and a polo shirt.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. If a polo shirt.
Yeah.
Like you might get a flannel.
Yeah.
And some beat up sneaks. Like put the dress code on there.
Yeah.
Also put if there are any colors that you want people to wear. Like if you want everyone to wear all black or you want people to wear red, black, whatever. Like
if you have a theme or something fun that you're going to be doing, let people know that.
Also list what colors you don't want people to wear.
Right.
If your bridesmaids dresses are navy blue, tell all the women, like, please avoid any navy blue dress.
Right.
Or like I went to an Indian wedding and they listed on there for people who had no idea about the culture, like myself, don't wear red. That is typically saved for the bride. Yes. And that, I mean, listing that on there was genuinely so helpful. I mean, and I did know that going into it, but like, I'm sure there are people who had no idea, and they listed this event is going to be, you know, dressy casual or like semi-formal. This event is formal. This event is formal. This event, whatever. Like they listed on there so that you know.
So, yeah.
But it is so helpful to have that.
It makes your decision-making process much easier.
Yeah. I mean, and how many times have you been at a wedding and someone is matching the bridesmaids perfectly and you're kind of like, you did that shit on purpose. Like that's fucking weird, because it's normally like a younger girl who's probably like frenemies with the bride and she's like Jacob's ex-girlfriend. I'm sure she's such a slut, but I don't know who Jacob is, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, that bitchy girl.
I had a wedding. I wore a bridesmaid's dress from one wedding to another wedding, which the dress was completely different, but I will say it was the same. Like it was peach. It was this way back in the 80s, way back in the 80s. But yeah, my sister had gotten married and we wore peach dresses for her wedding. And then 2 weeks later, Dom's sister got married. And her bridesmaids dresses were peach. And I wore that bridesmaid, but it didn't look anything like it. It was completely different, but it was the same color and it was enough to make me feel a little like
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I will say if it's not listed and I am friends with the bride, I do ask like, what are the colors of the bridesmaids? Yeah, what are the bridesmaids dresses? Because
what's your bridal party wearing?
Because I'm not gonna wear that.
Yeah. I had to buy the same exact bridesmaid's dress in 2 different colors for back-to-back weddings as well.
Oh, that's fun. I don't think I ever had to do that. Nope. Am I allowed a +1?
Oh my God.
Here's just
these next 2 questions just really get under my skin.
Here is how you know if you are allowed a +1. This is just your formal education. Welcome to Formal Education Corner. Come here, sit down. Let's have a etiquette class. Let's have a fucking conversation really quick. Whether you get a paper invitation or a digital evite, there's gonna be a envelope, okay? And you're gonna open that envelope, and then there's gonna be an inner one, and on that inner one, it is going to fucking list everybody that's invited. Right. It'll say Emily plus guest or Laura and Dominic DiGirolamo, or it'll just say Emily.
Right.
And that's how you know that you do not get a +1. You don't need to ask. You don't have one. You didn't. If it's just your name on there, you do not have a +1.
Or even, I guess, on the outside envelope, who it's addressed to, it could be Mr. and Mrs. Dominic DiGirolamo and family. Okay, that's...
Well, normally it's like if you open, and that could be it if they don't have an inner envelope. But like if it's Mr. and Mrs. DiGirolamo, you open it and it could say Laura and Dom and family.
Right.
Like then you know
that my kids can go.
They can go. That is how you fucking know. Stop asking. If it was not made very clear, just assume you don't have one.
Especially the and guest.
That's
Jane Doe and guest.
That's how you know.
That's your +1. That's how you know.
That's how you know.
Your invitation doesn't have that. You're going by yourself.
So stop being stupid. Okay, the last one.
And don't call and ask if you can bring someone.
Don't do that.
Don't be that person.
Why are you that person?
Can I bring my boyfriend of 2 weeks?
Because you know what I'm going to say? No, and now you can't come either. Because I'm a petty bitch and I don't give a shit. I'm so tired of
I
that.
did have a situation where I, at Jackie's wedding, invited 2 people, and they texted and wanted to know if they could bring their 6 children with them. And I had to say no.
Isn't that fun?
It's great. It's a good time, especially when it's family.
The last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll take another break. Are my kids allowed to come?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I think any nighttime event, well, let me rephrase that. Any event where there is alcohol is not a place for kids.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. I do think that, like,
In this context of a wedding,
well, not even that. I think there are times if you have a huge family and you want everyone to be able to come, and you know that everyone has kids, like the wedding that I went to in December, like the Indian wedding, there were tons of kids there.
Mm-hmm.
And the groom told me multiple times, like, you can bring your girls. We would love to have them. And for me, I was like, nah, dude, I'm trying to get away.
Right.
This is a vacation. Goodbye. Mama's got to go. But like, I do think if there are going to be a ton of other kids there, now if there's just one kid, probably not.
Right.
And if you want someone to be your flower girl or what have you, then you as the couple getting married, I feel like that is your responsibility to figure out if you want those kids to stay, or if you can talk to the parents and say, hey, we have this, whoever in the neighborhood or blah, 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 or so-and-so, like that's your responsibility to figure out what to do with those kids.
Yeah.
It's
a loaded question.
It's a very loaded question.
Yeah,
but
we
like,
actually had a whole episode and we talked about that because it's a lot for the kids, blah, blah, blah.
It is. And you should have, if you're going to have kids, if that is something that you're choosing to do, then you need to know that kids are going to be disruptive of your ceremony, especially if they're younger, because they can't sit still.
They can't
just
sit still. They're going to be tired. It's a long day. You're asking them to do things that they don't normally do. You're asking them to wear clothing they don't normally wear and behave a way that they typically don't behave.
Yes.
So you have to know that things aren't. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be a shit show.
No.
But
kids are kids. They're
are
going to
kids.
behave like kids.
Yeah.
You can't expect a 7-year-old to behave the way a 30-year-old is going to behave.
Right.
They're not going to do that.
Right.
Go ahead and put at the very top of your website somewhere where it is impossible to see. Impossible to miss. Yes, so that everyone will see.
Possible to see.
No kids or like kid-friendly wedding or
Kid-free wedding.
Kid-free wedding. I would put that plain as day so that you don't have to deal with any of this shit.
Well, I mean, again, going back to what the invitation says.
Were your kids included on it?
Right.
Then no.
No.
They can't come.
AKA get a babysitter.
And we'll be right back. Alrighty, here we are. Round 3.
Ding, ding, ding.
What type of food is going to be served at your wedding? And will there be meal options?
Do you have allergies? And I'm gluten free. And blah, 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 blah.
I think
that wasn't an insult to people who have food restrictions.
I do feel like you need to have, like, if someone is legitimately,
you need to have options.
Yeah, if someone is legitimately gluten free,
yeah,
or whatever they are, you do need a place to list that, because I'm sure your caterer can accommodate 1 or 2 meals for those people.
Right.
I've only ever been to one wedding that I can think of that there was no food option on the on RSVP card. And there was no meal option. They just came and served. And
so it was mystery dinner?
It was, yeah. And it was, I don't eat meat. So when I got handed chicken and steak in front of me, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. I don't want this on, all the juices have touched everything. Can I get a plate with not the meat on it? Yeah. I was so mad. Like,
yeah.
And only, I mean, and not to be prissy, but it's just like,
well, it's such a and this is going to sound bad. I'm trying to think of how to make it come out of my mouth and not sounding that way, but it's like it's a thing now. There's a lot more.
No,
it's a lot more acceptable.
Yeah,
there was a time when it was just like,
yeah,
ew, you're vegan,
no one
or
was
you don't eat
no
meat.
one was vegetarian.
Yeah,
no one.
and it's life choices now, and it's health choices. So it is much more acceptable.
Well, also too, not having that on there. Like, I haven't eaten steak or chicken in years, like 17 years. That would fuck up my shit. Literally. Literally. I would be in the, like, there would be no reception.
Party's
for Emily.
over.
Bye. Like, that would fuck me up. So please have meal options. And if you don't have meal options, at least list that so that people can bring food in their purse. I don't know, but
brown bag.
Yeah, bring their brown bag to your wedding. But list that and list what type of food will be served. I feel like that's just common, like decency. Courtesy. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Definitely.
Also list if there are, answer the question like, will there be an open bar? Not in the sense of like, people need to know like, hey, can I get really fucked up, or like, is it just a little bit fucked up? But like, if it's a cash bar, they need to be prepared.
Absolutely. Do people still do that?
I don't know. I hope not.
I would rather. Would you rather?
Okay.
Since this is our podcast, we're gonna
guys, can y'all excuse us for a second?
I would rather there be no alcohol than a cash bar. And I say that because I think it's rude. And there's a lot of reasons why, and we just don't have time to talk about all of them. But
let me hold on. I got to think about this. Would I rather go to a sober wedding or cash bar? I'm not
saying I would rather go to a sober wedding. I would just, if you can't afford to pay for everyone's alcohol, I think you should just have a non-alcoholic wedding than to make people come and pay. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to be honest. If you have a cash bar or a non-alcoholic wedding, you can be 9,000% guaranteed that I got airplane bottles somewhere up on my body.
or your reply is no.
I'm not going. You can be certain that I will somehow still be drunk.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying for it besides what I paid for at the liquor store. No, I think if you're going to have a cash bar, this could be a whole nother conversation, but like, I do think maybe having free drinks at the cocktail hour, if that's all you can afford, or having just wine and beer and no liquor. There are options.
Wine and beers, I think,
totally
acceptable.
Option. That's what y'all did at Jackie and Ben. Yeah, I think that's totally fine.
Well, liquor, a lot of venues have a very strict liquor policies anyway. Yeah. And no shots at the venue we were.
We couldn't do shots at our venue, but so what they did instead was like, you can get it over ice.
Oh.
And they were like, okay, so my bridesmaids started going, can I get a shot of tequila with just one ice cube? I don't want it watered down. I just like one
always
ice cube.
A way.
So the bartenders were like, okay.
Yeah, there's always a way to get around the rules. But important information to let your guests know.
Well, they just need to be prepared. Like, it's just, again, they're investing their time and their money to be there to celebrate you. Treat this as if you're hosting
an itinerary.
Like hosting an event that's not your wedding. That you need to give them as much information as you can so that they can be prepared too.
Great.
Link the registry, obviously, in your wedding website, which is sometimes I feel like the only thing people have on their website, which is stupid. And also have the address that you want the gifts sent to. Most time there is an option, like if you register at Pottery Barn, it'll give you the option, like, do you want it sent to your house or the address that they've selected?
They've entered in there. And I love that option. I think that's really great because especially if you can't be there for whatever reason, then and you want to send a gift, you don't have to worry about you get it. Now, how are you going to get it to them? And if you have to travel to come to the wedding or fly, especially, you don't have to have a gift delivered to you around and figure out how you're going to get it to the wedding. So I think that's a great piece of advice.
Something else that we've talked about a couple of times and are brought up throughout this episode is an itinerary for the weekend, for the day of. We did the episode with Hustle and Gather a couple weeks ago, and we kind of talked about this. But having an itinerary listed not only for the day of, but if you have a welcome whatever, a welcome hour for people, or if you're having a luncheon. Now, it could get tricky if you have a luncheon that's just for family. Typically, a separate invitation would be sent out if not everyone is invited. So if it's something that it's not for the public of the wedding,
For all the guests.
probably don't list that on your website.
What we did, well, yes, because that would be for a website, obviously. If you're doing paper invitations, what we did is we just printed a separate card for like the rehearsal party.
Oh, yeah.
And we just stuck that in with the people that needed to get it.
Yeah.
We didn't do a separate invitation.
Yeah. For my aunts hosted a luncheon, like a welcome luncheon for everybody. So anyone that was in town that had come from out of town could come to this luncheon, and they did send out a separate invitation for that, and it was also listed on our website. But again, that it could get tricky, and again, that's just more like following up with people. But just have an itinerary. And also, we talked about in that episode that we did with them, listing things that they could do in the area. If there are bars or restaurants or places to shop or what have you, just have that. People want to be here probably for a full weekend, even if it's someone that is already local. People make staycations out of stuff. Yeah. We've done that for local weddings where we've stayed at a hotel anyway, because it's just fun. We want the full experience. Yeah. Time to arrive at the ceremony. I think for someone who is time challenged, I will say that if you tell me that your ceremony starts at 4, because I'm an asshole, I'm probably getting there at 3:55. I just can't help it. You need to tell me that I need to be there at 3:30, and I'll get there at 3:40, 3:45. I can't. I will always be late. I don't know what it is, but tell people like we're starting right at 4.
Right.
You need to be here X amount of time.
Yeah, I've seen too where it's like ceremony is at 4. Please be seated by 3:45.
Yes.
Something like that. Just giving everybody a heads up, because you don't want people rolling in when you're about to walk down the aisle at 3:57.
Yes. Yeah. And I honestly, I would talk to your wedding planner too about anyone who does that. Like, you need to hold them until, and they need to sit at the very back.
Yeah,
like,
you need to stay at the back.
Don't disrupt.
Don't disrupt.
Don't disrupt me.
That's a new one.
Also have on there, will there be a break between the ceremony and the reception? Like, obviously if you're having a cocktail hour, that's kind of a break, but not really. It's still a social situation. I feel like Catholic weddings have this. They'll get married at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then they will have a 2 or 3 hour break, and then they will have the cocktail hour and then the reception. I've been to a wedding like that.
Yeah,
they listed that.
Yeah, I think I probably have been to weddings like that before, because you have to allow, especially if you're getting married at one place and the ceremony is somewhere else, there's typically that travel time and so forth.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's enough for, if you want to run back to the hotel, maybe change your clothes. Because I've seen that a lot in northern weddings, where some people wear one thing to church or to the ceremony, and then something different to the reception.
Yeah. I did that when we had a different, we went at the wedding, and it was the ceremony, and then it was like 2 hours or so. But people, the biggest thing to note is that you're probably doing that because you're getting married at a church, and people need to have time or make accommodations, because most of the time you're not having a shuttle go to the church because you don't know where everyone is.
Right.
But like, and you're not, there's a 2 hour break, you're not having a shuttle between the church and the reception.
Right.
People just need to know how to get from one place to the other.
Yeah.
What is happening with my vocal? La, 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 la. This is a big one. And I do feel like this should be repeated at the actual ceremony at some point.
Ooh.
Can I take photos? And if I can take photos, can I post them online on social media? No and no. The end. But I mean, obviously no throughout the ceremony, but that is something that you have to decide if you have a hashtag or whatever. I can't imagine most people, like, obvious. Okay, here's the big thing. And I don't know if this, I hope most people know not to do this, but if you're not having a first look, do not post a picture of the bride before she's walked down the aisle.
Oh gosh, no.
I feel like that's the biggest for me. Like, once Ryan saw me, I don't give a shit. Whatever. Post away.
Right.
The person that matters here has already seen the dress.
Right.
Do not post anything until
especially if you're like a bridesmaid or something, you're getting ready with her and look how pretty my best friend looks.
I'd slap a bitch. I'd slap you and I'd be so
First of
mad.
all, just put your phone away and try to enjoy yourself. That to me is the moral of the story. But I also feel like it's the couple's event to share.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see what you're saying. You don't care. There's so many people and it's harder to control, to have absolute control and try to control a lot of people.
That, but I also feel like too, it takes like 4 to 8 weeks sometimes to get your pictures back. And so the pictures that people take on your cell phone are the only pictures that you have. So you're like, I want to see him. I want to see him, like post him. But maybe wait a day or two.
Yeah. And Jackie's wedding planner sent us a bunch of sneak peeks that night, which was really nice because I didn't have my phone and she obviously didn't have her phone. So that was really, really nice. But I've also seen where people set up an Instagram account.
Yes.
Where, and I guess you just can have it without
you can
having
just tag
you can just tag and then it's
account.
All in there and it's just like story after story after story and that's really fun. The one wedding that you went to that I wasn't able to go to because my little knee incident, I watched the story like the whole weekend and it was really nice for me to be able to see that. And it was funny because I would get your perspective from where you were in the room, but then I'd see somebody else post the same of what you were videoing and it was from a different perspective. So that was really kind of cool. And I think that's a fun way to keep it all in one place too.
I agree, but just have it stated. And obviously we've talked about this, but like, please don't allow anyone to take photos during the ceremony because your photographer is doing what they need to do. And they're trying to get not only shots of you and your partner getting married, but also of the crowd. And it is the most heinous thing to see in pictures when someone has their cell phone up and you're like, oh God, stop. And don't get in the way of the photographer. Guests, get out of the fucking aisle. What the fuck? When I see videos of people in the aisle, I want to go up and rip their hair out. Yeah. Man or woman. Get your ass out of here.
I just want to know.
I just want to know what the fuck.
What are random people going to do? Like, why do they have to step out into the middle of the aisle to get a picture of the couple up, with...
Well, because it's Uncle Joe and he is never on Facebook and he wants it on his phone.
Why?
Because it's Uncle Joe.
Yeah, but the family, oh gosh, I just don't understand. I think we just are conditioned to take pictures on our cell phones because we think we should. And sometimes I look at them and be like, why did I do that? Why wasn't I just watching the wedding?
I'm never going to look back at this picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also been quite a movement. I haven't seen it so much lately, but there has been a big movement for like cell phone free weddings. And, they ask you to, there's actually people who put signage out that's asking you to please no pictures during the ceremony. Yeah. Put your cameras down. And it's coming from a place of just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
You don't need to be
we got the documentation covered.
I think so many people just pull their phone out and think they need to take pictures and videos of stuff and they miss everything that's happening.
Idiots. Okay, final question. And then remember we have our announcement. And this is one I didn't really think of until I saw this. And then I saw it and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Who is the contact person for the day of the wedding?
Yeah.
Because it's obviously not the people getting married. Aunt Sue. So either you have, and it should not be the parents of the people getting married either. It needs to be maybe a brother or sister of someone getting married or a best friend, or maybe it is Aunt Sue or maybe it's a wedding planner, but you need to have a designated person who is the contact person or who can update the wedding website. Like let's say all of a sudden it started downpouring crazy and the venue manager came in and said, hey, we did get some extra staff in, we can go ahead and move you inside. You need to let everyone know. I need you to update the website and let everyone know, hey, we're going to be moving inside. Keep that wedding website updated and list that you're going to keep it updated, but have that designated person do it.
Yeah. I don't know if we said this in the very beginning, but talking about who the contact is and making sure the website is updated, going back to the very beginning of this, make sure that your guests know that you have a website and it is the main point of information and will be updated with the latest and greatest up until through the wedding.
Yeah.
That needs to be where they are going for all of their resources and information, but definitely on the day of.
Yeah. I'm that person. I probably shouldn't tell you this since you're technically my boss. But like, we work obviously in the wedding industry. And when we have vendors ask questions, because I get the same questions over and over and over again, I've gotten to the point I don't even answer them anymore. I literally copy and paste the link. And and I'm nice about it, but I'm like, hey, all the information you need is right here. And I'm like,
thanks so much for asking that. We want you to have a great experience at our show. Click on this link and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
The link that you have been sent every week for the last 6 weeks, it's still here. The information is still here.
Yeah.
But because you're going to get that question.
People just
over
immediately in that moment are like, oh my God, I need to call the bride and find out what's happening. And I get that because I've been that person too. And sometimes I've actually stopped myself and said,
you're like, whoa,
let me go to the website real quick and see if I can find that there. Because I do, like you, like to do that. And it's sort of a passive aggressive thing. But in that moment, you're just like, I need to call them right away.
I need the answer right now.
Yeah. So making sure you have a contact the day of is, and letting people know that there is one is really important.
And like Laura said, like be in the moment. For the couple getting married, just don't have your phone. One, if you're wearing a suit, your phone is going to bulge. Like take your wallet and your keys and your phone out of your pockets. But also there's no need for it. Here's the thing. If someone isn't smart enough to figure out the answer to their question without having to contact you, they probably shouldn't be at the wedding anyway. You know what I mean?
Just don't invite those people.
Like if they're sorry, like, oh, that's a
you know what?
issue.
I wanted to invite her, but she's really dumb. And I don't think she'd be able to even figure out how to get on the website. So she's off the list.
So she's off. She's kind of stupid. So, oh boy. Okay. Well, that was our website
How to?
FAQ.
Yeah.
Frequently asked
FAQ.
questions.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. I'm chock full of ideas. Okay. Dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
drum
dun, dun,
roll. So we have been now doing this for a year.
Yeah.
And it has been the
Amazing.
worst. No, I'm just kidding.
It has been really, really fun.
Yeah. It's been a hell of a ride. We've been so excited. So we are going, this is our season 1 finale.
And we dressed in like our little
debut
launch.
outfits that we did a year ago.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Yes, it was. And so was bringing champagne, but
Yet here we are with no champagne.
with no champagne. So, 50% of the idea was
Cheers
executed.
to that shit.
But we are going to wrap season 1. We're going to take a much deserved break.
Absolutely.
Rest our brain, revitalize, and we will be back with a season 2. We will keep you guys updated. We're still going to be active on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube stories. We aren't going to have any episodes to post, but go back and make sure you listen to everything. Everything is still relative. I mean, we are
whenever
timeless.
Whenever you're planning your wedding, whatever stage you are in, just check out those episodes, or it's a time to get caught up. If you've missed a few, you can go back and listen. So there's a lot of great info out there that we would love for you to hear.
So stay tuned. Follow us again on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube stories. We'll announce when season 2 is launching. We'll keep everyone posted. But in the meantime, we'll still give tips and tricks and share our unsolicited advice because we do that so well. And cheers.
Cheers. We
Clink.
Even though I forgot the champagne, we can
Cheers
still
to our
cheers
water.
our water.
Yay.
Yay.
Bye, guys.